Okay, so the coilover's done while the wheels are off. Let's do the Fly Miata track pack Swaybars. So the trick here is getting the end links off the existing swaybar. Unlike the ENA, where it's just a simple nut and bolt, this has a nut on the end of a bolt with an Allen hex end. The idea being you use an Allen key to hold the thread while you spin the nut. Very easy to strip the inside of that Allen head. So I have been periodically spraying this with penetrating oil. In fact, I'm using this CRC freeze-off. So we'll give it another hit of this. Just make sure that you clear out, give a hit inside the actual end, the Allen end, to clear out any gunk or anything that might have ended up in there, which will stop your Allen key getting all the way in there. Give this a spray, so that's it for a wee bit. And then we will try and get the sucker off. So it's a 14mm and a 5mm Allen. Hopefully, I'm hoping I don't actually need to use the Allen at all, and I can just leverage the nut off. Let's see how we get on. I'm going to need to break it out on the end of this thing. God bless penetrating oil. That has loosened off. Okay, thank goodness. I haven't tried the fronts yet. And a lot of the stuff that I've read, people have ended up just cutting these existing end links off because they couldn't get these undone. So we'll get this off and then move on to the next step. Man, I seriously need to invest in brake chain spares. For real now. And there we have it. One end link. So once you have the end links off, we just need to remove the actual sway bar mount. These two here, to hold it to the bracket. And same on the other side, and they should just drop away. And two. So now I should be able to pull that out. So the other side. And slide this puppy out. And voila! Swaybar. So let's get the new one on there. So we have the old swaybar here. You can see the brackets. Pop those off. And the bushings. Do away with that. And we see here the new sway bar, slightly thicker and also adjustable. We have adjusting holes on the end of the sway bar, so the further towards this end of the sway bar the end link goes, the stiffer the bar becomes. So on the rear, we don't reuse the bushings. We do reuse the brackets, and we use the new bushings that came in the kit. And we also have a bit of lube here for the insides when we mount it. So first step, we need to get this in situ in the car. and then go from there. Okay, so we have the bar here. Now these aren't, it's not symmetrical. This is actually angled, the ends are angled one way. The end links want to point towards the middle of the car, so we chuck this in, make sure you have this that way around. So the end of this is sloping towards the middle of the car. So let's get that in. We want to get the end links on before we mount it to the car. So as we can see here, the end link is not straight up and down. It's angled in towards the middle of the car, and we want that on both sides. If for nothing else, it's a good way to sight that the sway bar is not over towards one side of the car more than the other. If they're both angled in, we know it's centered. So let's chuck some nuts on these end links and then mount the bushings and brackets to the car. So we want to actually torque the end links before we do the before we mount the bar to the car, and it's 30 foot-pounds. Just need to work out, we need to get at least the brackets in, I think we'll be okay. Yep, so we'll torque those now. Okay, so before we mount the bushings in the bracket, we just want to take some of the lube that came with the kit and just lube up the inside of these bushings. So let's do that. And we're going to chuck them on the bars, we'll spread it around a bit when it's on the bar. Stuff smells funky. So we've got our lubed up bushing. Let's chuck that on the bar. Get it nice and lubed up. Bracket. There we go. So again, before we tighten anything up, we want to make sure that the bar is centered in the car. It's not too towards one side over the other, which I notice tends to happen while they're trying to get stuff in here. These mount bolts, they want to get torqued to 20 foot-pounds, and we can do that now. Okay, so the rear sway bar is in. Let's move on to the fronts. So what we need to do is remove this end link, so we get this nut off this top end link. Hopefully it's fairly straightforward and we don't strip anything out. So I've already removed this plastic splash guard underneath, so we can remove this. Same on the other side. The mounting brackets and the whole thing should pop out. So let's try and get this thing off. I'm just going to hit it again with some penetrating oil. Now you use a breaker on it and hopefully it comes loose. A little bit of a breaker bar. Let's see how we go. Just like that. Look at that. Fantastic. Alright. Pop that back on there so we don't lose it. Okay. Mounting brackets. Okay, so these mounting bracket bolts are a 12, which is the first 12mm anything that I've found on this car. So that's fun. So they're pretty freed up. Let's try the other side. So we'll reuse the hardware except the bushings. We'll replace the bushings. The bolts and bracket we will reuse. One side, let's try the next side. Okay. Here we go, old Swaybar. Let's go and get the new one ready. Okay, so here we have the old front Swaybar and the new front Swaybars. No, we're not reusing any of the stuff because we have new brackets and bushings that came in the kit. I'm going to try and line that. I see the old one has these rubber mounts on either side. I'm guessing they're guides just to stop the bar moving from side to side. I'm not sure if I can get these off. They look to be held in there with this retainer. If I can't get this off, I'm just going to try and line up the new brackets and mounts, bushings in the same place as the old Swaybar. So stand by while I see if I can get this thing off. Okay, so having looked at it, the extra thickness in the new Swaybar is such that the whatever this retainer bushing is not going to be able to clamp completely around it, and so the retainer, the circular thing, isn't going to fit around it. So I don't think we can reuse those, which is probably why it's not in the instructions, but I thought we'd have a go. So we can just take the new bar over and start mounting it up on the car. Okay, so here we are with the new Swaybar. Quite certainly a hefty item. Feels like it weighs a bit more than the last one. So what we want to do is just get it in place and attach it to the end links before we mount the brackets. So let's do that. So we're going to mount these on like the rear, they're adjustable, and we're going to mount the front to start with, at least, so we get a feeling for the car, on the outermost hole. Okay, end link nut, just finger tighten just to hold it there. No, we want to make sure that it's centered in the car, quite important. Alright, so we'll put the bushings on and lube them up as much as we can, and then mount the brackets. Let's get that sucker on there. That's one. We'll do the other one while I'm down here. Plenty of grease in these puppies. Stick that fella on. There we go. We'll get some on the outside as well. Just goes. Okay. Off front these brackets. make sure the bar is centered as much as possible. And it's actually close enough fit that it really is more or less already so. Okay, so before we tighten up, as per the instructions, before we tighten up these brackets, we'll torque up the end lengths and they add 30 foot-pounds. So let's do that. Okay, so before we tighten up the brackets, we'll torque up the end lengths, and these are to 30 foot-pounds. Okay, gotta say the fronts were much easier than the rears, where you saw the actual bolt was spinning, which was a real pain. So getting these on and off is much easier in the fronts. Okay, so let's torque up the brackets now, and these are to 20 foot-pounds. Again, just making sure we have the sway bar centered when we do that. Remembering that these are that weird 12mm size for whatever reason. Right, that was 20 foot-pounds. Okay, and there we have it. Sway bar successfully installed. We'll chuck the plastic splash guard in. And we're done here. Okay. Like a glove. A really poor, ill-fitting glove. Okay, so there we have it. Coilovers, sway bars. The next thing is just to adjust the height, the perches of the coilovers, chuck some wheels on, get it back on the ground, make sure all these bolts are snugged up, and we're completely done here. So let's do that very quickly and get this thing back on the ground. So let's adjust this coilover. The instructions say you want the distance about 9.5 inches from the lower mounting point to the bottom perch. There's something like 24 centimeters thereabouts. So we'll just get some silicone spray on here just to help everything spin nice and easy. Some on the top maybe as well. I'm assuming this can't hurt anything, so be generous. And we'll start spinning. So that was the mounting point. I'd say there's 24 on the money. 9.5 inches. Let's lock those down. And there we have it. So coilover is adjusted on either side. We'll chuck some wheels on it, get the car on the ground, snug up, tighten up these bottom coilover bolts, and see what the ride height is like. Okay, so let's get this wheel back on here. We have our centering ring. Chuck that in there. Offer up these wheels. Each of these things kind of a pain. Can just barely reach under here. Phew. Wow. Okay, not getting much more out of that. And of course, once we've had a bit of a shakedown, given it a bit of a run, we'll jack it up and make sure everything's tight again. Last thing we need to do, rock the car back and forth, and then tighten up the top bushings. So we'll do that very quickly. Okay, so we just want to back off the locking nut and then just retighten that top nut to make sure the bushing is compressed as it should be. Just tighten up. So it has loosened a little bit, just due to the compression. And that's about right. So locking that back on. I'm assuming when I take it in for an alignment, this will all be checked again by the boys as well. Tighten the locking nut. And we're done. So there we go. We have done coilovers, Swaybars, and the roll bar in the MX-5. So the next lot to come, I have an exhaust coming, just a back box, and a rear spoiler to fit. And then eventually an intake, element and intake manifold. But for now, we're done. So the next step, obviously I'm going to take it for a little rip, see how it feels, and then get it down to the shop around the corner for an alignment. Just make sure the ride height is settled and set where it should be. And we're one step closer to first track day. So thanks for watching. I'll keep you updated as things come along. Thanks, bye. Join me on the next one where it's a gusher. It's a gusher. I need more lube. More lube. If in doubt, more lube. And I review an exhaust. It seems to be full of stuff. Thanks for watching.